Hey loves, welcome back to another video. So today I thought we could take another deep dive into the 3-ring binder. I changed binders. Yes, I know I went through like 3 binders in the last week, but hear me out. I have been very passionate about figuring out how to make this likable, easier for me, and all that good stuff. So yes, I went and I found a binder that I think I really like. They do have a few other colors. I did order this one from Amazon. I try not to order stuff from Amazon, but really, if you want to find unique stuff, sometimes that's like the only other place you can go besides Etsy. I did check Etsy, and you can get leather 3-ring binders from Etsy. So if you want to spend the money, by all means, you can definitely do so. This one was fairly inexpensive. I think max was $27 or $28 compared to my $14 binder that I shared in the last video. So yeah, still pretty much inexpensive. I wouldn't say it's top-notch quality. The rings in my $14 binder are much tighter, much stronger, and a little bit bigger than the ones that are in here, despite them both being 1 inch. But if you're just looking for aesthetic, obviously this one's going to be more aesthetically pleasing than my plastic binder that I was using earlier this week. So also in this video, I took the liberty in like printing out a few layouts from Day Designer and also Scattered Squirrel. I just wanted to print these out and show you guys that there are a plethora of different like layouts. You won't be subject to specifically just, the layouts that I'm showing you. Those are the only layouts that they have. No, the sites that I found have multiple layouts. The Day Designer, I believe, I don't know if a lot of them are still available on their site, but definitely check them out. There are quite a few places that you can get free printables from. Hemlock and Oak does free printables. I don't know if most people know that, but I was able to download their daily planner and their weekly hourly, I think, don't quote me on that. I do have one of their weekly planners, but I was able to download that for free. And so you can download the Hemlock and Oak planners. Day Designer, like I said. Blue Sky also has free printables. So if you want to check out Blue Sky, they also have a few printables that you can check out. And then Scattered Squirrel, like I said. And then there was another site, but I cannot remember off the top of my head. If I can remember to link it, I will link it in the description box down below. Also to note, because I did not mention this in recent videos, Scattered Squirrel, the one that I'm using mostly for all of my free printables, she does not just do 8.5 by 11. She also does half letter and personal as well. So I don't think there's any crop marks. So if you are able to print on personal size paper, I would definitely suggest doing that. And if you're also able to print on 8 or a half letter, I would also do that too. And I'm only saying that because I hate measuring. So if you also hate measuring, then definitely just print at exact size and save yourself some trouble. But she does make printables for half letter and personal, just FYI. All right, so let's get started with today's video. So I changed my binder. I didn't have anything against this binder necessarily. The only gripe that I had with this is that, okay, so your pockets are plastic. Your pockets, oops. Okay, we're gonna have to definitely have a new setup because I cannot be bumping you guys like that all the time. But the only gripe that I had with this is that the pockets are indeed plastic. So if you stick anything in here, it's not going to stay. And then also you can't put but so many things in here. Like you can stick papers in here fine, but you can't stick other things in here, like a mini notebook or something like that, because it just wouldn't stay. So you would need to have like all the pocket folders that I had, because of that. This binder, and I'm not going to show because, well, I'd be bumping this camera more than I just bumped it recently. And also, there's not a ton of space on this table. So, it is slightly, I want to say this pink binder is just slightly bigger than the one underneath. I want to say I'm remembering that right, but I know that one of these binders are bigger. Hold on, let me see. So I could just line it up real quick. Okay, yeah, I was right. This pink binder is just slightly taller, but it's not wider, if that makes sense. So this binder here is just a smidge wider than this pink one. This pink one is a lot thinner though, but the lighter one underneath is thicker because it is like a faux leather. It has like faux leather pockets on the inside. So yes, by nature, it is much thicker than this plastic. The rings on here are the same as the ones in this binder in terms of like the D ring. However, these rings are much better. Like quality wise, the binder in itself is fine. I like this binder, and I will definitely use this binder again, because these rings, despite me opening and closing them several times, they are strong. They are really strong. And this one open mechanism is what I like the most. So yeah, I like that. I like that it's open here and there's no, you have to do this. That's not the case for the binder underneath, but I'll show you guys all the specs with that. So I left the original cover plates in here just in case if I ever want to go back to this binder. The things that I made specifically for this binder, because these ones did not fit in this binder because the bottoms of this was just bumping the little things. So I made new ones for this binder, and then I just left the ones that were made for this binder in this binder in case I ever want to go back to it. And let me try not to bump. Yeah, and then like I said, everything I just kind of left it in here. Okay, you might be picking up my son who's throwing temper tantrums. You guys know how it is in this house. You know how it is. We go through this every single time we film. All right, so let's get into this. So this is a binder that I found off of Amazon. It was about $27, $28. It has like a, let me not bump the camera, but like if you guys can see that, it has like a kind of gilded, rounded spine. And it does have, so this binder is not by any means 100% perfect. It does have some flaws, and I did note that in my review of this binder on the website or on Amazon. But like there's grommets, there's gold grommets behind here, but clearly you can see that the thing was put on wrong. But I mean, if that doesn't necessarily 100% bother you, then you might be able to overlook it. I looked at it like it's not that big a deal. It still functions. It's still aesthetically pleasing, so that didn't really bother me. The rings in this binder are not super tight like the rings I just showed you in the other binder. So I mean, it is what it is. But as I continue to like search around and just shop around for other things, I'm trying not to spend as much money because my whole objective was to figure out how to make planning a lot less expensive, but also very productive. Like that's the goal that I was aiming for. So I hope that it relays across the videos that I'm sharing. And there I go. I'm gonna have to get a better angle. Let me pause really quick and see if I can move this a little bit. All right, I don't know how well I did that. I don't know how well I was able to move this like neck back some, but hopefully I won't. Oh man, it still looks like I'm gonna hit it. Okay, hopefully I won't hit it too much. Okay, so in this binder, so basically I wanted to find a binder that I could turn back on itself. I'm gonna get her YouTube channel name completely wrong. There are not many videos on YouTube planning in a 3-ring binder. Like if you look it up, you will see almost darn near none. But there are videos from one particular YouTuber who isn't posting anymore. At least that's what it looks like. Milk and Honey, and I don't remember the last parts. But if you type in Milk and Honey or 3-ring binder planner, Milk and Honey, then she might pop up. I'm just gonna say use those keywords. But she does a lot of planning in a 3-ring binder, and she uses a simple 3-ring binder, or she used a simple 3-ring binder. And one of the binders in her more recent videos, like 2 years ago, she was trying to find a binder that flipped on itself. And I've been in the same process. Like I said, I love this binder here. Nothing wrong with it. It's a cheap $14 binder with really good rings. But it cannot turn on the back of itself whatsoever, or you will snap the binder. This binder doesn't have the best quality rings. Like these rings were a little loose, but it's still manageable. No pages are falling out. This binder can at least turn on itself in some way. I mean, the spine obviously isn't like flat like I'm looking for, but you can still, you see what I mean? You can still turn it onto itself. So you can save a little bit of space with this binder. Okay. The other thing that I like about this binder opposed to the one that I was just using is that there are like faux fabric. So the outside, let me back up. The outside is like a faux leather material, and then the inside of the binder is like a felt material. So it's soft, it feels like fabric. And obviously if you get colored lint on it, it will stick to the inside because the inside is like a faux fabric. But yeah, I like this binder a lot. I just like how it doesn't necessarily feel like a cheap like ring binder from like Staples or something like that. It still gives me the appearance of like having a nice like personal size ring bound binder, if that makes sense. Like not personal size necessarily, but like the feel that you get when you use a personal size, like how, you know, your binders are really nice and things like that. This gives me that feel in a 3-ring binder. I like that the fact that the pockets can actually hold a little bit more stuff. Like I'm able to put a pocket field book in here, which is super helpful because I'm always jotting stuff down really quick. And instead of having a space where I could just turn to, I just grab this pocket notebook. And then there's also a pocket in the back as well. And if you know anything about the D ring, you know that it's literally the shape of a D. So it is kind of hard to flip from all the way up here to all the way to the front. So you literally have to close the binder and then open it from the opposite side if you want to grab something in the back. That's the only issue about the D ring, but that doesn't bother me because I literally just shuffle through the pages anyway. All right, so I did create a cover page for this, and I have completely changed the things that I put in here. I got rid of all the pocket folders. I got rid of them because once I printed out everything that I needed, there were a lot of things that I could shift around that I just didn't need necessarily on me or in this binder. Since this binder won't leave the house, I don't think it will ever leave the house. So I did put everything into like a file binder, so that way if I need those extra inserts, I know where to get them. And then the things I needed to transfer, like the passwords, the financial stuff, the stuff like that I needed to transfer to the home binder, that stuff was moved out. And so now it's just like the planning material, the things that I want that is in this binder. Okay. And then, like I said, I had to make new like cover pages because the tabs here just didn't fit the old one. So for the first part of this binder, and I'm not going to do a flip, but what I'm going to do is talk about the inserts specifically today, but I wanted to share some things that I added to help make the process of using this planner a lot easier for me. Everything in this binder is 100% free except for 2 printables and the dividers. And even the things that I made, because I already own these things, so technically I didn't have to repurchase them. They were already free because yeah, I already had laminating sheets and I already had like cardstock. So basically everything except for the dividers and 2 inserts are free. And yeah, so anyway, I added a few sections. So I have a table of contents page here that I just did it in like Samsung Notes, and I labeled it table of contents. And these are all the things that are in this binder. So I have a reference material, yearly overview, Reclaim Your Life workbook 1, that is from Scattered Squirrel, Reclaim Your Life workbook 6, that is also from Scattered Squirrel, a self-care section, which is also from Scattered Squirrel, habit building section, which is, I want to say, from Scattered Squirrel, and then planning section and notes. A lot of the inserts are in here are from Scattered Squirrel, and a few are from Day Designer, and the 2 that I purchased is from a shop that I can't remember the name, and then another shop from Haru Plans. So let's go ahead and open it up. So this first section, after I get past my table of contents page, is all reference material. I put all these tabs here because it just helps me jump to a section a lot quicker. It doesn't necessarily have to be written on for me to understand what is what. I just kind of pull the tab and then automatically can see that, oh, because I put them there, so I know what's there. This first section, though, is all reference stuff. So it's like the quick fixes, the 39 ways to fulfill and recharge, your 50 best practices, 86 lists for the planner obsessed, and then all my journaling prompts. I lied. There is one section of printables that are not free. That is the monthly journaling prompts. These are not free. I've been using them in my Traveler's Notebook setup. I just printed them out. I purchased them at the earlier parts of this year, but I just printed them out and put them in here because they were letter size. So yeah, these are not free, but I put them in here. So this would be like your reference area. The next section I said was like my calendar or yearly section. And basically, and I'm going to have to, because I reference a lot of this stuff, I'm going to have to put my whole reinforcers. I have been doing that for some of the sections that I tend to grab more. It's just like put whole reinforcers there, but I'm going to have to do that for this. And yeah, this is just the calendar section. The new sections that I added was the Reclaim Your Life workbook 1. And what I did for all of these sections is I printed the Scattered Squirrel cover pages, and so that way now they look like little booklets, and that's what I was aiming for, just to kind of keep them in their own little divided section. So this is the first booklet, and this is basically how this insert looks. It just says that it's a worksheet, and it has areas of questions that it's asking you. It's only one-sided. I could have printed them double-sided, but I did not. So it says area of life that you want to focus on, and these are focus-based inserts. So if there's an area that you really want to focus on, that's what these inserts are geared towards. So it's like an area of life that you want to focus on, and why did you choose this area? What is working for you? What isn't working for you? And list of tasks, responsibilities, or other things that you need to do to work on in this area. So basically, this sheet is like a task brainstorming area for specific things that you want to focus on, and I just wanted to have this here for those really stressful days or really stressful times. The next one is the Reclaim Your Life worksheet 6. I almost said 1, but it's 6, And basically, it is a worksheet where you can list out things. So your most important tasks and responsibilities. And you have 6 sections here where you can write those really big responsibilities or tasks. And then other urgent things that may need your attention. So if you want to break it down like this, you have this worksheet where you can do that. And then you can list 3 things that if you really have time to do, you can do these 3 things. And then things to do for me to pick at least 1 per day. So you can do this, and then it's like a 31-day type of thing. So you can list some things that you want to do for yourself at least once per day. So if you want to map out your life this way, if you want to take control of, time management or task management, or you want to step away from social media and focus on different areas of your life, this is a good worksheet to just work off of. You don't even have to use a weekly or a daily. You could just literally work off of this sheet and focus on those areas of your life. So I put this in here for those really, really stressful days. And then the next booklet is like self-care. This one I did print. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed a section in here. So like I said, I have these inserts, but then in the back, I also have these inserts. If you just want to work in this particular workbook, this section, then you have, or if you just want to work on a sheet like this, you have these inserts where it's 31 days, and literally all it is your top 3 tasks for your focus areas. So if you just every day pick 3 things that you want to focus on and only focus on those things. I like this insert because it basically helps you to narrow down the most important things out of that day, and that way you're only focusing on those 3 important things. Nothing else matters. So if doing yard work or house stuff or projects or even work stuff is a big thing that you're trying to accomplish. If you have a lot of work tasks and you have really big work tasks that you need to focus on, maybe writing down those areas. Or like if you have yard stuff that you need to do, like maybe writing down 3 big things that you need to get done in the yard. So it's just like, I like this because you can list them here, and then when you're done, you can focus on those tasks, and then cross them off or highlight them out and then move on to the next day, and just keep picking 3 things that you want to focus on for each day until you get to the bottom of the month. And then like if you have time for anything else, you can pick 2 additional important tasks that you want to get done on top of your already 3 important tasks. So it's a way to basically narrow down the most important things in your day without overstressing yourself with a long to-do list. Because I think sometimes a to-do list can be daunting because you look at it and then you realize that you have a lot of things leading on this list, and it's hard to dissect the things that you need to get done. So maybe doing it this way could also help. I like this insert. I really wanted to have this insert in here. If I don't use it, everything in this binder is undated except for the calendars. So I love the idea that I could ditch the dailies and jump here, or, whatever the case may be. So yes. And then the next section is the self-care section. And basically all this is, it's printed front and back because there are 2 pages per the page. So, it's just like an area where you can list out or journal about your body, mind, spirit and soul, and hobbies and interests. Like you can map out a self-care plan. Like if you want to do this once a week, if you want to do it once a month, if you want to randomly do it every so often, you can literally sit down here. If you need a self-care day, you can map out the different areas that you want to focus on for your self-care. So what do you want to do for your body? What do you want to do for your mind? What do you want to do for your spirit and your soul? And what do you want to do for your hobbies and your interests? So I like this. I like that you can brainstorm your self-care plan in this area because self-care is so important. Like can't even express that enough. Like, it's so important. So I like this, and I printed a few of these to go in here. You guys have already seen my planning section, but in case you're just tuning into my 3-ring binder situation, basically I have monthly, weekly, and daily. Recently, I added in 5 weeks of the meal planning stuff because I realized that I do a lot of the meal planning in our home binder now, and we literally take the sheet out of the binder and we hang it up on the refrigerator, so that way that we have a clear depiction of like what everyone is going to be eating. And I'm able to map out my son's breakfast and lunch here because, you know, he's a very picky eater. So, and he's really the only one who eats breakfast because I'm not a real breakfast eater necessarily. But mainly it's just like I map out his stuff, but in here I'm able to do it and brainstorm it and all that stuff. And then when I want to make revisions, I can make those revisions, but on the one downstairs, it's so sloppy. Sometimes it's unreadable, and it ends up getting tossed into the trash at the end of the week. So they don't last at all. They just don't go back into the binder. But I've decided that I was going to keep this one and at least do it here too, so that way I can make all the revisions that I want to make, and I'll still have a copy of it. And then for my own sanity, because we also take this sheet and I cut the ones downstairs in half so that you could use them a little bit better. But in here, I'm just like, let me just keep a copy of everything, because once, you know, like my husband gets a hold of the list, it gets jacked up and then the list is gone. So I have a copy of it here if we have things that we need. And also because I do a lot of the cooking, if there are specific meals that I want to make, I can literally map out our meal plan in this binder, make the grocery list and stuff that I need to have, and do that. And then like when I have my finalized copy, really all I do is just go downstairs and sloppily write out all the meals that we're going to be eating and whatnot. But in here, it's just like, it's neat and it's readable for me. And yeah, I know what the heck is going on, and I don't have to second guess and be like, wait, what? Where's the list? Like, everything is here. And then I did add, let me see, did I, or is it just on this? Okay, so on the back of the list, I did add some grid paper or a grid page on the back of the list pages, because what I intend to do is for all the new stuff that I want to make, or the recipes and stuff that I want to make, I want to brainstorm meals and stuff here, and then that way I can curate my shopping list, because I'm so sick of eating the same stuff and I just want to find new things that we can make. So yeah, just want to brainstorm ideas, different meals, do it here. I don't feel like I need to go back through my planning section necessarily, because I already showed you guys a lot of this, but I did add in one other thing. So the other thing I added in, I always talk about this. Let's see if I can just take it out. Okay, so I did add this page here, which is just a habit and mood tracker. And basically, so I have one tracker that's tracking household stuff, and then this tracker is tracking mood, or not just moods, but it's tracking moods and like pain stuff. So at the bottom, I'm tracking my pain, not my pain level, I'm tracking my mood, and up here I'm tracking like the medications, the vitamins and things I take, and how I'm doing on the pain scale, like if I've had pain. So I was recently going to physical therapy for pelvic pain. Basically, I've been having a lot of issues over the years with sciatic pain, nerve pain through my hips and my back and down my legs. So, and I've been dealing with that since having my son. My son is now 4, so I've been dealing with it for 4 years. And sometimes it makes movements almost impossible. Like, there's a lot of stiff pain, there's a lot of slow movements, there's a lot of pain in general. And then also I've been experiencing severe stomach or pelvic pain. And in my abdominal region, so it feels relevant to like contractions sometimes. So I've been tracking that because I'm trying to curate an idea of how often I'm having pain and where the pain is and how it's making me feel, because I'm trying to put together a list of doctors that can really help me navigate through my situation. So that's what this little tracker, and this is the one that I purchased for like $2 or something like that. There were 3 different PDFs. Yeah, PDF files. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but there were 3 different ones, and they all look different. But this is the one that I printed out, and then the other one should be familiar because I also have this one. In my personal rings printable stash, which is just a book tracker. This is from Haru Plans. I do have a book journal, but you guys know that I really like this book tracker from Haru Plans, and I like how big it is. Like, it's gorgeous. Like, it's just gorgeous. I did print it front and back, so there are 6 here for the month. I typically read multiple books at once. So right now I'm reading like four different books. So this whole first page will be like filled up completely. But yeah, I just have 2 printed front and back so that way I can track the books that I'm currently reading. And those are the only new additions to my 3-ring binder that I added. Okay, so let's jump to I lied. Let's jump to this section here. So this is the other new addition that I added to my 3-ring binder. If you know what this is, then you know that it only seemed right to add this to everything else, because it wouldn't be true fashion if it wasn't in this as well. So this is my infamous ICDT method in 8.5 by 11 binder style. I love it. Let me say that again. I love it. This document here has gotten me through so many things. Like, I heavily relied on this. I started using this back in 2024, middle-ish 2024, when I was using my LT bullet journal when we were living in Mississippi for a short stint. And I did not know that just by creating this, which I thought was very similar to the Alistair method to begin with, but eliminating the Monday through Sunday layout and solely changing the icons to ICDT to stand for something completely different, I thought was just incredibly genius at the time. And who knew that it would carry me so many more months. So I had my husband. I'm not good in Excel. Please don't ask for this if you want it, because I do not know how to do that. I just don't know how to do that. But what I can say is that I had my husband create this document for me, and so it's not by any means perfect, but nonetheless, it is perfect in every way for me. So it's just a simple document with the highlighted sections like I like in my bullet journal. I'll just highlight every other line. And then I have one side that's my task list. And then I have my others that are where I do all my checking off. So I for in progress, C for canceled, D for done, T for transfer, and the star symbol so that I can put a little star next to anything that I deem very important. And so whenever I have stuff going on that's it doesn't necessarily fall into my daily or my weekly category. It's just like stuff that just randomly comes up, but they don't have necessarily dates attached to them. They get dumped in here. Someone had said once that it was an organized brain dump task list. And I was just like, you are exactly right, because that's literally how I use it. And like, the thing that I liked most about it is because I made it specifically to match my needs. So I could use it for week by week, or I could use it for month by month. Doesn't really matter. I love it because this one I'm using solely for the month. And I like it because there are things that have come up, but they don't have, they don't have dates attached to them. And so I just dump all that stuff here. And then whenever I get around to it, I just check it off like I've been doing. I printed it front and back so that way it could travel with me throughout October if it should fill up. But I love it nonetheless. So this is the only other new addition that I added into my 3-ring binder. And then I told you guys about my inserts that I'm using from Scattered Squirrel. She does have many different weekly inserts, and I will show you guys some of them at a later date. But it is a hassle to print with my printer at the moment. I'm thinking about getting a new printer in the future because this one I got some time ago from Germany when we lived in Germany, and yeah, it's about way overdue for a new one. But I love this. I love this weekly so much. I like being able to write like the places that we need to go, like if we need to go to the grocery store. Like I just like being able to write that here and then write what are we getting from this store. I haven't been using the people to see because honestly, like that's the only section of this that I don't need. I literally could just cover that and use it as something else. I guess people to see, you could write down anything from like, well, if you live close to family, which we do not, but if you live close to family, I'm assuming maybe you could like put down visits with dad or visits with mom or whatever. Or you could even put your appointments, like if you are seeing your doctor this week, you could put that here. I just think there's a few different ways you can use this small section. But as far as everything else, I don't feel like I'm not utilizing the space because I'm using the weekly and I'm using everything else. So if I don't use a small smidge of this, I don't feel like I'm wasting it, if that makes sense. But I do like this a lot. I do like that, like there's a special reminder. I have my physical therapy bill that's due on the 17th, so I don't forget. I do like that I'm able to map out weekly to-dos and like house stuff here, personal stuff here. Like I love this. And then it's in terms of my dailies, I won't say necessarily I'm using all the daily space, like the space for the daily necessarily, because if I had to think about it, there is a lot of space in the daily that just goes unchecked. But I love to write. I love to write. If you know me, then you know, if you've seen any of my bullet journals, you know that I have a lot of writing all over the place. It's on sticky notes. It's all over the place. I love to write. I love to capture the things that I'm either thinking at the moment, the thought process of something, brain dumping stuff. Like I just love to write every single part of that task or of that idea of whatever I'm writing at the moment. So I liked having the day on 2 pages, even though it's an 8.5 by 11, and this is huge. But I like being able to map out my timeline. And then I like being able to break up my to-do list or make a long to-do list and then like section them off. Like maybe this is your AM to-do list, afternoon to-do list, and PM to-do list. Like I love that. So this is how my daily pages, as you can see, I wrote a lot on this day, but this is how my daily pages have been looking in the last week or so. And I don't know, this is probably one of my favorite dailies that I've used. And I like this because like I don't feel trapped in a small box. Like when I was using my day timer inserts, the layout I love the layout. I love everything about the day timer inserts, right? But I did not like that the space felt really cramped. This is huge, right? And I just love being able to move about in here. I do sometimes, I held up my Happy Planner Classic. I held up my, now I've gotten used to the 8.5 by 11 since I've been carrying this for the last week or two now. And then I went back and picked up my 6 by 9. I think that's 6 by 9. Is it 6 by 9? 7 by 9? 7 by 9? Someone told me the correction of the classic size Happy Planner, but I think 7 by 9. I think. Anyway, I picked it up and I was like, man, this feels small compared to this 8.5 by 11 now. And I used to think that was so huge. This feels normal now, and that feels really small. It's weird. It's weird how that feeling is. But I don't know. I love this so much. I just love the space in here. Like, it's weird because for someone who wants portability and things to be very portable, I feel like this bigger space gave me ease of mind, and the fact that it was a planner that I put together with free printables, and if I didn't like something, I could change it. I could move things around. Like, I just love it. One of you asked me why this and not disc. I felt like disc would have been, I don't know. I just felt like disc would have been too flimsy for me. Like, the ring binder just feels like it's not something that I necessarily feel like I need to baby. Like, I don't need to baby the fact that, oh, if I keep pulling this page out, the pages are going to like come out. Like, that does happen with Discbound. There's so many accessories. I have so many accessories, and then the Happy Planner makes so many cute accessories. So I felt like I would have been more inclined to spend, not necessarily saying that I don't have any self-control, but I just felt like I would have started looking at things. I don't have a disc punch, and I think that would have been the ultimate killer for me. Is like, I don't have a disc punch, so I'd have been looking for inserts already pre-made, and that would have made me more inclined to spend so that I could have these things. But I think if I had invested in a disc punch, I could eliminate a lot of that and just do the same thing in a disc bound situation. I still have a lot of stuff for my disc bound. I do have a crap ton of functional things for my disc bound planner that can work in the same way that this is working. But I don't know, maybe in the future I will downsize, but I'm loving this so much that I don't even care about like the portability aspect of it anymore. Like, this is working so well. And I just love it. Like, this was a really, really, really busy day. I did a lot of stuff. And as you can see, when I do a lot of stuff, my schedule looks crazy. My to-do list look crazy. And yeah, I write a lot of reminders and a lot of big ticketed items and whatnot. And then this was the other day. Not a whole lot to address here on this side, but not a whole lot got done here on this side. And I even forgot to check off something that it didn't even happen. So as you can see where my you can see where I'm spending a lot of the bulk of my time in this binder. And I love because it sits open on the counter, and I'm able to just keep it open like this and have the space and flip around in this part of the binder, and it stays open. The Discbound situation stays open too, but I feel like I'd be so sad if like my son touched it, and I don't want to feel that way, right? If he's like spilled something on this, I could just reprint like half of these pages all over again. I don't have the opportunity with the Discbound situation that I have to do that. I would have to repurchase things, and that's just not feasible. But yeah, I do like the Discbound situation a lot, and I may go back to it at some point, but I'm not really pressed to try that at the moment because I'm really determined to break the narrative that planning has to cost you a crap ton of money. I just want to see something different within the planning community in itself. And I want to bring back what really matters, which is just like the functionality of something, like using something like this, like something so simple and practical. And I recently found out that you can get a 3-ring mini binder, not the mini binders that you see today with the little pocket mini binders, not those. The A5 actual mini binders, like the Avery mini binder, you can get binders like that look like this binder. And you can buy a 3-ring mini binder hole punch, and you can do the same thing because the size is equivalent to A5. So yeah, that's another thing that I might try. I'm only spending the money because I want to bring something new and refreshing to the planning community, so that way we have more options and we have more ways to spend our money more. What's the words I'm looking for? Gosh, they never come to term. But I'm trying to share a way that we can spend our money much more smarter than like spending $70 on a single item, and somewhere down the line we not even want to use that item. So I'm just trying to help everyone out with how to figure out ways to spend money a little bit better and still get the dopamine rush that we're chasing, which is swapping out things and changing up our planner. Like, you can still do that with something much more cost effective. So yeah, I'm just trying to bring something new and refreshing to the community. So I love this. All right, so I've yapped a lot. And so one of the things that I wanted to show is I wanted to show some of these inserts that I have printed out. And I printed out these inserts because me talking about them really just does not do it justice. What's going on here? I don't know. Like, what? I don't know. I'll fix it. I'm not pressed. But anyway, I wanted to bring some new and refreshing inserts I was trying not to hit you guys, to this topic of 3-ring binder, because I'm trying to show you that there are a lot of companies that we like that also sell free printables. Zoom you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so the first line of inserts that we have is Day Designer. I didn't print the hemlock and oak ones because when you print them on regular computer paper, they are indeed very light. Like, they do not show up as good like this, but I wanted to at least show them to you. And honestly, I should have printed the blue sky too. Maybe in the next video I'll print some blue sky ones and we'll talk about the blue sky, and I'll try to print the hemlock and the oak ones in a darker format if I can, just so we can kind of look at them. But you can get a really good layout from Day Designer. So this is one of their daily pages. It is a 7 through 8. You have your top 3. I don't know, but over here in this section it says do, dinner, dollars, and don't forget. It's really small. So if you want to write really tiny, I don't know if you have small stuff. Then you have your to-do list, and then you have your notes section, and then you have your daily gratitude. So if you're familiar with the Day Designer layout, this is a really good layout to start. The second thing that I kind of printed out was this. It's a day on, or not day, it's a week across 2 pages. And here, I'll do it this way because we're going to have to do some flipping back and forth. But essentially, it is a Monday start, and you would have your week. So you'd write your week, and then you have your top 3 at the top. So you write 3 things that you want to do for the week. And then it's similar to all the formats that you've seen from the store. So you have your today section, which you can use for reminders or whatever, and then you have your to-do section. So it's like a daily, it's kind of like the dashboard layout for the Happy Planner, but I like this layout a little bit better because it literally splits the line for you, where you can put like your important and then to-do type stuff or your task type stuff. So I like it. It's like that all the way down to to Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, which is the only thing that I don't like, is they don't do the same layout all the way down. But I understand because they took space away to give you a note section. But I honestly think if they just took away this note spot and just did the same thing for Saturday and Sunday, that would have been a lot better. But that is an option that you do have with the Day Designer. So if you want, not to say that Scattered Squirrel does not have simple black and white elegant layouts like this, clean layouts like this. I mean, it's just that she has a plethora of them, and I'd be all day if I went through every single one. But this is one that is a familiar brand, and it's a brand that most people can trust. And so yeah, if you want to curate a free planner from the Day Designer, they do have inserts on their website that you can try out, print, and if you ever want to buy one of their flagships, you can do that as well. So yeah, that's what I'd say. I'd say if you ever want to spend money for an investment, such as like a beautiful planner or a beautiful journal that you want to archive eventually, I'd say try it like this. Just put it in a nice 3-ring binder or whatever, and just try it out first and see if you really truly like it before you commit. And I like the idea that most of these brands have free printables, so you don't have to fully commit at that time. So yeah, this is from Day Designer. The next ones that I have is from Scattered Squirrel. My whole planner, my whole 3-ring binder planner is Scattered Squirrel. So I'm so happy to talk about this. I first came across her stuff in 2014. She only had 2014 or 13, one of those years. She only had 8.5 by 11 then, and there weren't so many collections in colors or black and white or none of that. But she has evolved over the years. And so yeah, so this is another daily layout. I had contemplated using this one when I first set up my binder, but I really just like the open layout to just do whatever. And I like that the fact it starts at 6 and ends at 10. This one starts at 7 and ends at 8. So didn't necessarily work fully for my schedule. My schedule runs through 8, so I still need those 2 extra hours. But you do have like a top 3, a don't forget. You can write the month or the date here, and then what day. And then you have your to-do list section. You can track water or whatever fluids you're taking. And then you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a small note section, and then worries for another day. So if there's something you want to transfer over to the following day, you can put it here. I think it's pretty cool, but it's not my super favorite. I might try it out at some point in time, just play around with it, but that's one. There are 2 days on one page. So if you don't need a whole lot of space, there is 2 days on one page. So same concept, starts from 7, ends at 8. Instead of those half hours, you just have single hours. So I appreciate having half hours because sometimes not everything happens. Like this one doesn't necessarily have the line indicating that half hour, but the boxes are bigger with a extra like margin here that indicates that there's a half hour, opposed to this. Even the inserts that I'm currently using also indicate half hours. So if I just go back without bumping anything, way in the back, I'm way in the back. I'm way, way, way in the back. Okay, so like if I jump here, if I jump here, you see that there's a line indicating that there is at least a half hour there. There is no half hours with this one, but there is, if you look on this one, where it indicates that there are some half hours. The numbers are a little small here. I like the numbers are big here. You do not have to get it in this rainbow color. She does have neutral colors like black, or a single color, but I like the rainbow colors. It adds a little bit more fun. But anyway, you get the point with the half hours. Same layout, it just gives you a little less because it's a day on 2 pages. So you have your to-do list and then your schedule, top 3, don't forget, and then your date. The other one I printed out, which I also really like, is this open concept. So I like this one because it's open concept with your checkbox area, and you can literally break up your to-do list however you choose with this layout. But I also like the fact that the numbers are there from 6 to 10 because this is literally my schedule. But on this one, on this open concept for a day on 2 pages, you have open timeline where you can literally put in your hours. So if your day starts at 5, you can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or let me use regular time because everyone don't use military time. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or if you want to start later in the day, so your day starts at 10 to wherever. And so I like this because there's such an open timeline, and you don't even have to necessarily write the hours in order from 6 to 7 or 5 to whatever. You can jump around on the clock. But then you have your space for your to-do list, your top 3, don't forget, and then you can write your own date in. So big ups to having an open timeline, open insert like this. So these are a few different options that you can try. I think I'll try to get some weekly options printed out so that I could show you some of the weekly options that are available. So if you are on the fence, I did share one of the weekly options some time ago, like the week on 2 pages. If you go back to my home binder video, I showed one of the printable week on 2 pages, which was similar to like your vertical planners that you can buy. But I like those too. I'm just trying to give you guys more ideas of like some of the layouts that are available. And again, Scatter Squirrel makes inserts not only for 8.5 by 11, but A5 and personal as well. So yeah, and I was going to like plan in some of these, like mock plan, so you could see how you could like use these, just giving you more examples. But I think I just ran out of time. I got stuff to do today, so I can't be up here playing too much. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys another peek into what's available to you in the 3-ring binder. I'm going to change this by putting whatchamacallits on these, on all of these. Should I do it for all of them? Yes, do it for all of them. All right, so I'm going to add hole reinforcers on those. So I'm just going to take them out so that I can remember to do that. But anyway, at any rate, this is the 3-ring binder. I'm not going to close it because I'm going to open it right back up. This is the 3-ring binder situation, you guys. I hope that, you know, I'm filling you guys with lots of ideas and you're getting inspired by some of the content and whatnot, because yeah, that's really all I want to do, is I just want to inspire you guys to try something different. And it's not super popular, but I'm trying to push it out there so that it becomes another popular option for my planner peeps to use, because we need options in this community. All right, so I've held you long enough. I thank you so much if you watched it from beginning to end. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'll try to remember to leave links if there's something that I showed today that I did not necessarily link, or you have specific questions on. Please leave those comments, because how else can I help you if I can't answer your question, or, you know, get the answers for you. So please leave all the things down in the description or the comment section below. I'll leave my end of things in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next planner video. Bye, loves.